It's a bit funny how the right wing is so happy about Hunter Biden being indicted on federal gun charges when they're always harping about how gun laws are bad and people's rights to guns shouldn't be infringed upon. Wouldn't the banning of being able to have a gun if you use drugs an infringement on people's rights to have guns?
We're coming on the air with breaking news. President Biden's son Hunter has been indicted on federal gun charges. It marks the first time a sitting president's son has been indicted on federal gun charges. Hunter has pleaded not guilty to the charges, but was originally planning to plead guilty as part of a deal that would have dismissed gun charges, but that deal fell through in court back in July. Let's go to Ryan Nobles now on Capitol Hill, who can tell us more about what has transpired. Ryan?
Lester, that's correct. Hunter Biden now facing 3 criminal counts related to that gun charge, and this came after the deal that was initially struck with federal prosecutors and Biden's legal team fell apart during a plea hearing in July. And part of the reason that this plea arrangement fell apart were these gun charges. Hunter Biden was scheduled to take part in a pretrial diversion program that would have allowed him to avoid these charges. But the judge in the case was very concerned about the parameters connected to that diversion program, specifically that she would be responsible for monitoring Biden's activity. That began her asking very serious questions about the plea arrangement in general. The two sides could not come to an agreement, and the judge did not accept those plea arrangements. That led to the special counsel in this case, David Weiss, who was originally the U.S. attorney, being given special counsel status by the Attorney General Merrick Garland, giving him the complete purview to continue the investigation into Hunter Biden and then hand down charges if he thought it was necessary. He signaled a week or two ago that there would be charges coming down and that they would come by the end of the month, and he has made good on that promise by filing these charges today through a grand jury. These 3 charges are connected to that gun charge. 2 of the counts are specifically related to the accusation that Hunter Biden lied on an application for a gun permit. And specifically, what the law states is that you cannot be an active drug user while applying for a gun permit or the use of a gun. And so the first.
Would this include alcohol, tobacco, caffeine? Because those are drugs as well. Yet nobody ever questions people lying about using those drugs, especially alcohol, when buying a gun.
First 2 counts are related to that, and then the 3rd count has to do with the fact that he made a false claim that he was not using drugs during that period of time. Now, the original charge had with it a significant amount of jail time.
Again, if right-wingers truly felt that gun rights shouldn't be infringed upon, they would be against this law because it prevents people from being able to have guns just because they use a substance that they choose to.
If convicted, perhaps up to 10 years. We're still working out the details as to whether or not those penalties would apply to this specific indictment as well if it is successfully prosecuted by the special counsel's office. But of course, Lester, it comes against the backdrop of enormous political pressure that has been put on the special counsel, in this case, David Weiss, and of course, the political pressure that is now on the White House as it relates to this. Earlier this week, the House Speaker Kevin McCarthy announcing a formal impeachment inquiry into the President of the United States, specifically related to his son's activities, questions around whether or not there was influence peddling from the vice president's office through Hunter Biden and his business dealings while he was serving as vice president. To be clear, House Republicans who've been investigating this case now for some time have yet to deliver any hard evidence that connects the president at all to his son's business dealings. But this complicates the political posture for the president heading into a re-election bid that his son, now, as you rightly point out, the first sitting president to face criminal charges in a situation like this. Lester?